Hi there, this is Tim with a Kingdom Come Deliverance video. Now this game has just been released as Alpha Access version 0.1 on Steam, and because I was a Kickstarter backer, I have been given access to it at this point. As you can see, there's not a lot of features at the bottom left, and I found going through the game that there are some problems with some of those features. So it is exactly what it says. It's an alpha version, and it's basically just a technology alpha access version. It's just basically them putting their graphics through the paces and things like that. So getting into the main menu here. This is currently running at 1280 by 720, so I just switch the graphics settings. Okay, and now we're running at 1080p. So you click to start a new game, and basically you start on the road outside of a town. So basically I want to go exploring, and I'm just going to have a run around the town, kind of show you the playable area in this version of the game, and just show you some of the features that are in there right now, which, as I said, it's a basic technology demo. And I'm just kind of figuring things out as I'm going. Obviously this is how it was actually played by me first time. You can spot a few graphical issues here and there that obviously they will iron out as the development goes forward. Now I clicked to talk to that person who was walking past, and I was able to select what I wanted to ask him, which was about this place. And it says, "Hello, it's nice here. What is this place?" And it says this is our little village. Not too big part of this world, but you can freely move around and watch people doing their stuff. And then basically I couldn't see a way to get him to advance from having said that, so I tried pressing a few keys, and it managed to skip it forward to my next speech. And then basically it starts telling me about a section of the village that I can't actually go to in this version of the alpha. It says that there's a beautiful monastery just behind the... oh, no, you cannot get there at this time, it's too far. So basically I now end the conversation by going to end dialogue, and then I can go back to wandering around, having a look at the beautiful graphics in this game. You can see the amount of detail on every texture is just fantastic. Whoever they have as their texturing artist is doing a very good job in my opinion. And this is me running rather than walking. And here you go, I've actually reached the end of the playable world for this version of the alpha. So I'm going to run along the edges of the playable world right now to give you an idea of how big it is at this point. You can see there's a nice little river, and I think the effects are fantastic there. The water looks very nice. And you can see various different types of fields with crops and things, and for some reason as soon as I get back on a road here, music starts playing again. Which I found out later it's just basically they have a loop of music for the game right now. I obviously assume they're going to do some more music later on, and some more triggers for different types of music as well. So again, I'm just running along the side of the playable world here. Trying to jump up here and see if I can get over, and eventually found out I couldn't, because this is the fence here marks the edge of the world for this version. And you can see they have done a very, very good job with the terrain, with everything really. The lighting looks fantastic, the graphics look fantastic, and as I said, that there is the occasional glitch, but not really very much considering how early in development this is. So that's as far to the west as I can get. So now I'm just heading north. And it seems like the wall playable in this alpha kind of twists and turns a bit through this forest area. One thing that I do like, I mean, I've played a few games that use this kind of a viewpoint, and honestly, it's pretty difficult to get yourself stuck. I've been able to get out of every kind of hole that I managed to drop into pretty easily. Just pressing the jump key, which is currently space. Still heading north, and now I've hit the northern boundary. You can see this gentleman working in his field. And apparently everybody who is walking around has kind of a daily routine, so everybody that you're seeing is supposed to be doing something. What I like here is that it's actually quite easy to climb up on these rocks. It's fairly realistic. One thing that I do generally hate in games is an environment that you can't use as a realistic environment. Just heading into the village now, heading south. And maybe it's time to go inside a building. So I have to press E to use the door, but you have to be a little bit back from it right now for it to work. And you can see various tools and objects and things that obviously apply to whatever kind of person lives in this house. And the lighting effects are absolutely fantastic, although It looks like the gamma is a little bit off when you look outside there. I suspect there's a little bit of bloom to add to give the effect of a bright sun. Wanted to see if I could pick up this axe, and currently it doesn't seem like I can. One thing that I like when you walk into a dark building, it seems to take a few moments for your eyes to adjust. This house is obviously very similar to the previous house, except from the storeroom seems to be split into two rather than one. Just kind of trying to see what happens when you go in the water here. And you can see there's texturing right on the bottom of the water and everything. It's absolutely fantastic. And if you look here, you can see ripples. I think that's awesome as well. Like I said, graphically, apart from the occasional glitch, this game looks amazing. Absolutely amazing. Little pottery bits, and the chickens even look great. Tried to open this door but couldn't, I'm not really sure why. And you'll notice a few of the rooms are obviously duplicates and things like that, but like they've said, and like I've said, it's a technology demo, so they won't have put an awful lot of work into making the contents of the houses, varied and things like that. Now this, it looks like it's a something that I'm supposed to pick up in, like a storyline sense. But when I look at it in my inventory later, you'll see it doesn't really do anything. And then I noticed this ladder on the roof here, so I'm kind of wondering if I would be able to climb up there. And there we go. And look at that, what a view. Now I don't really know if I'll die if I jump off and, have to start walking around the village again, so I tried to be a little bit careful here and gently walk down the roof. And then this is my first character bug that I saw. I think she's supposed to be stirring a pot inside the house. But at this point I'm just going to say that she's a witch. Because there's a pot. So, I don't know, I'm assuming that's what she's supposed to be doing, is stirring that pot. But anyway, this is obviously a different building to what you've already seen. different coloured walls, different types of construction. This is obviously not completely wooden walls. There's possibly mortar or clay on the walls in certain places. So this is a bit of more of an upscale house. And there's her broomstick. Just continuing to look around now. The vegetation looks fantastic as well. They've done a really good job with that, and the puddles and the mud and just everything really. Fire looks fantastic too, and you can see a little bit of it here with this blacksmith, or smithy as they should probably be called. Going to have a quick conversation with the smithy, and apparently I asked him what he's doing here, and sarcastically he says, "Me? I thought I might prattle about, perhaps bake me a cake. Yes, a great big one here in the forge. Certainly I couldn't be, smithing." Well, thank you for your sarcasm, sir. And then my option is to end the dialogue. And again, I'll just remind you, this is basically a technology demo where it's just checking that certain things work, that you can walk up to someone, you can talk to them, and then they perform a certain action after they've been spoken to. That's basically what this version of the software is about. I'm going to look in another building now. Someone actually in here who seems perfectly fine with me walking into their home. And apparently he left and shut the door behind him, so I will now have to open the door when I leave. And this is apparently a member of the Nazi Party. He saw the roof kind of disappeared and then came back in there. Again, just another little graphical glitch that I'm sure they will sort out. And there we go, that's another house. Just going to see if I can get myself up on this roof to have a look around it. There's birds flying overhead. And here you can see that there are two men who are supposed to be sat at a table there, and then the woman there is supposed to be filling the cup that was just held out by the man, but obviously none of those things were obviously tied together properly. That's just another indication that this is an alpha. Now I'm just running because I know that there's another house, but I couldn't actually see it, so I'm just going to higher ground so I can see it. Can't actually see it yet, it's behind those trees. So, up onto the rocks. And on the right side, very right side of the screen, centre now, you can actually see the roof of another house. That's the one I wanted to explore. Excuse me, sheep. The sounds are really nice as well. The music obviously loops because I'm sure they're not finished with that, but the general sound effects are really good. And there's another animation issue where she's stirring a pot that isn't in front of her. And I don't know if you'll have noticed, but as I've been running around here, the time of day has been changing. And I'm going to take this opportunity while the sun begins to set to quickly take you through the inventory screen, which is currently accessed by pressing I. And basically you can see that I have all of these objects that I came with, and then at the bottom you can see the @ symbol, which is that thing that I picked up, which doesn't seem to do anything. You can see it here listed under other, but when I press Y for item info, it just gives basically a blank information sheet. But you can see over on the right, you know, there's things like damage, head armor, body armor, hands armor, leg armor, you know, and you've got health, hunger. So you can see kind of the depth that they're actually looking for with this game, and the depth that I think they'll actually be able to achieve. You know, just looking at these graphics, which is obviously what they focused on first, I think they've done such a good job with that I don't think they'll have too many problems sorting out the rest of the game, really. You can see how quickly the shadows kind of came up on the house there. And you can see the sun beginning to set behind the trees. And gradually you'll see the sky and everything shift between kind of a dusk appearance, and then you'll start to see stars appear here. But while that's going on, I'm just going to walk backwards so that you can see the sun do that. Why did I back this game? Well, last year I bought a PlayStation 3. I think it was last year. Yes, it was last year. Bought it last year, and the sole reason that I bought it was for Grand Theft Auto 5. I like to play through the single-player scenarios on Grand Theft Auto games. Wasn't really interested in the GTA Online portion, and once I'd done that, I was looking for something else, and I turned to Red Dead Redemption, which I absolutely loved, and I kind of fell in love with the kind of free-roaming countryside feel, the horse, all of that type of gameplay. That's obviously the village dump there with all of the bones and everything. But yeah, I fell in love with the free roaming gameplay that that Red Dead Redemption offered, and I wanted something similar on PC because obviously I sold my PlayStation 3 as soon as I really had done with Grand Theft Auto 5 and Red Dead Redemption. And I saw a video of this game, and it had a lot of similarities that I really couldn't overlook. It's something that I'm quite excited about, really, and obviously my gameplay life right now is pretty focused on Elite Dangerous, and probably will be for many, many years, but when I feel like doing something else, I feel like eventually when this game is ready and it's progressed past this alpha stage, beta stage, I think it's going to give me what I wanted on PC to replace essentially Red Dead Redemption, and I'm really happy with how it looks so far. It is graphically beautiful, it sounds great apart from the music which loops. There's the occasional graphical issue, there's the occasional kind of model issue where they're not stood in the right place, doing the right thing, etc. The UI is a little clunky, but nothing that I would not expect from this stage of development. Absolutely nothing. And that gives me quite a lot of confidence in these developers that they can actually deliver with this product. And I'm really quite glad that I backed it. It's you know, not something that I'm worried about in the slightest. And this literally, as I was walking around here, this was the first time that I had ever seen this, and seen the awesome stuff like this guy's shadow here, which you can see the shadow from the light of the moon, and you can see the shadow from his lantern that he was carrying. It's absolutely awesome. You know, that person has a shadow just from the moon, and they've just done a great job with the lighting, a great job with the textures, and yeah, genuinely exciting. Really, really exciting. So, there we go. I'm just going to leave you now looking at these, I think they're fireflies, which I just spotted. And you can see them kind of flying through the weeds. And I'm actually going to listen to the audio now. I'm going to stop talking, I've said enough, and just let you listen to the nighttime noises. Okay, that's it. Thank you for watching. Hope you found this interesting. Okay, bye bye.